Now to an NBC5 Investigates exclusive. 3 years after a great-grandmother went missing, closure for her family. Investigators in a special missing persons unit in the Cook County Sheriff's Office spent months combing through records, databases, and other evidence for answers. Our Regina Waldroup looks at how they cleared and closed this case.
She was just amazing. She was just my mommy.
The mother of all mothers. That was Mary Miller, according to her daughters.
As we got older, we found out, she had mental issues due to what happened to her as a child.
In April of 2022, Mary went missing. It had happened before, but this time she was quickly located, taken to Weiss Hospital. She walked out, never to be seen again.
I thought she was going to come back this time, too.
3 years, that's how long Mary Miller went missing. But this year, her family got some answers, and they learned how she ended up at this Catholic cemetery, buried in an unmarked grave. On December 1st, 2022, Chicago police found an unidentified deceased black female outside this Dunkin' on South Wabash. Some distinctive physical features on the case report. The Jane Doe had no teeth and a left hip replacement.
We find women that have been missing for more than 3 years.
Fulvio Camponi is an investigator with the Missing Persons Unit. Jason Moran is commander. The Cook County Sheriff's Office started this unit in 2021.
Many of the Jane Does that have been deceased kind of match up to some of the missing people that are on our list.
The unit got to work, putting time and resources into identifying this Jane Doe.
First, we start with fingerprints. Then we go to dental. Then we go to DNA. In human identification cases, we use everything available. The fact that Mary had no teeth and the unidentified deceased person was also edentulous, meaning had no teeth, that was one clue that we could use to say that these are one and the same individual. DNA was also done in this case, but there was no genetic association.
After weeks of sifting through countless records, making countless phone calls, they learned more about that orthopedic device, a hip replacement done at Northwestern in 2007.
What the hospital was able to provide to us was very important because they were aware of 4 people within this time period that these orthopedic devices were placed into. 3 of the individuals were still being seen. 1 individual was not, and that was Mary Miller. Mary passed away from cold exposure and a chronic heart issue.
He called me and said, is your mother, did you find your mother? Is your mother still missing? I said, yeah, she's still missing. And then he started asking me questions. And he said, has she had any, like a hip replacement or a knee replacement? And I said, she did. And when he said hip replacement, I knew it. I'm grateful for the 2 officers that took their time out to look for my mom. Because they didn't have to do that. I'm thankful to finally get the answers that we needed and wanted.
Every one of these families deserve this type of closure and knowing where their loved one is.
They had a funeral for her and, they buried her, they pallbearers, 50 people was there, that was kind, that was love.
The family has purchased a headstone and plan to visit their mother in the coming days and have a small ceremony. In Mount Greenwood, I'm Regina Waldroup, NBC5 News.
Wonderful to finally get closure there. The Cook County Sheriff's Department says in the last 4 years, the Missing Persons Unit has closed out 40 cases.
The fact that they never give up, that's so important.